Have you ever wondered why we keep searching for quick dopamine fixes, even though they leave us feeling empty? What if the real key to success and happiness lies not in chasing the next big thing, but in rewiring how our brain works? Do you ever feel stuck, caught in a loop of endless consumption? Or maybe you find yourself procrastinating, waiting for that perfect moment to act? The truth is, the solution isn't out there. It's already within you. In this video, we'll uncover how to break free from these cycles and start creating the life you've always wanted. Procrastination at its core is really just emotional mismanagement. It's when the amygdala, the emotional part of your brain nestled in the limbic system, overrides your prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for logical thinking and decision-making. When this happens, you become trapped in a cycle of craving, immediate rewards, and short-term satisfaction. But when your prefrontal cortex regains control, your dopamine levels stabilize, allowing for sustained motivation. You no longer need instant gratification. Instead, you can embrace more profound and rewarding experiences. This shift enhances not only your personal life, but also your professional one, as you develop the ability to engage with others in meaningful ways that foster empathy and mutual benefit. This kind of emotional intelligence is what leads to both personal satisfaction and long-term success. Transitioning from a reliance on quick dopamine fixes to focusing on more fulfilling long-term goals puts you in a position of genuine creative power. It's the secret to breaking the cycle of consumption and stepping into a life of contribution and growth. This concept applies directly to content creation too. Content creation today offers a therapeutic shift from being a passive consumer to becoming an active contributor. Not only does this transition benefit you as a creator, but it also touches every area of your life, whether it's your career, business ventures, or personal relationships. At its core, it's about developing the ability to engage with reality in a meaningful and constructive way. The ability to connect with the world around you is a key factor in determining whether you succeed or fail in any area of life. Social cognition and empathy are essential tools that help you escape the loop of procrastination, rumination, and overconsumption. Cultivating these qualities allows you to shift from seeking self-centered, short-term gratification to contributing value to the world around you. It's a transformation from selfishness to service, a critical shift that fuels both creative output and personal growth. Ultimately, what you're creating isn't just content, it's yourself. The most significant thing you'll ever produce is your own evolution, your personal transformation. Many people don't realize that the content they're endlessly searching for in YouTube videos, podcasts, or blogs is actually their own. You are the missing piece. The world doesn't need more recycled content. It needs your unique voice, your ideas, your perspective. This idea stretches beyond content creation into areas like relationships. When you're stuck in a consumption-driven mindset, you often chase the idea of a perfect relationship, thinking that being with someone will provide ultimate happiness. This is just another form of pleasure-seeking behavior, influenced by idealized notions of romance we pick up from movies and stories. This constant chase for pleasure, driven by dopamine spikes, leads to anxiety because the executive functions of your brain are hijacked by your amygdala and creating a cycle of rumination and negativity. It's an immature approach to relationships and life that traps people in disappointment. But when you grow emotionally, you understand that relationships are about mutual value, not idealized fantasies. You realize that no one is perfect, no relationship is without struggle, and it's not always going to be idyllic. This mature outlook fosters greater empathy and understanding, improving your personal relationships and naturally leading to greater success in your financial and professional life as well. Before we dive deeper, I want to mention something that could really enhance your journey. I've left a list of 4 incredible books in the description below, each one focused on personal development and helping you break free from the cycles we're talking about today. These are resources that have made a real difference for me, and I'm confident they'll help you too. So whenever you're ready to take the next step, check them out after the video. By fostering empathy and emotional intelligence, you open yourself up to creating more win-win situations. Rather than judging others and consequently judging yourself, you transition into a state of harmony and cooperation. This shift helps reduce negative emotions like anger, envy, and apathy, which are low energy and destructive. When you let go of these draining patterns, you make room for more meaningful connections, creative endeavors, and overall success. Take, for example, the case of athletes or celebrities who experience sudden success. Often, once they achieve wealth or fame, they fall into the trap of seeking external validation, chasing quick dopamine highs from social approval. This cycle leads many into indulgent behavior, whether it's excessive partying, drugs, or shallow relationships, which ultimately derails their long-term goals. So why does this happen? When you receive social approval, your brain gets a spike in dopamine, tricking you into thinking you've already made it. For a brief moment, it feels like you've achieved everything you've been striving for. But the reality is that dopamine high is temporary, and when it fades, it leaves behind a crash. This is where things get dangerous. The brain doesn't differentiate between real success and the fleeting sense of accomplishment that comes from social praise. It's all just dopamine to your brain. This is why sharing your plans too soon or basking in premature validation can kill your drive before you've actually accomplished anything. The way to avoid this trap is to remain grounded, focusing more on the process than on the reward. By recognizing that early validation can fool your brain, you become more cautious about letting external praise dictate your motivation. The aim should be to maintain a steady drive that's fueled by your own values and long-term vision, not by short-lived dopamine bursts that come from others' approval. This shift in perspective will not only help you stay committed to your goals, but will also lead to deeper fulfillment in all areas of life. The more you detach from being outcome-oriented and start appreciating the process itself, the more enduring your motivation becomes. You can achieve this by rewiring your brain to find joy in the journey, doing tasks for the sake of doing them, not just for the reward. One of the most effective ways to cultivate this mindset is by training yourself to do the things you naturally avoid, the uncomfortable, tedious tasks you'd rather skip. This practice builds mental toughness because when you repeatedly push through discomfort, the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, ACC, in your brain grows stronger. Over time, this increased strength allows the ACC to overpower the amygdala, which is responsible for generating fear, negativity, and pessimism. While sadness and other emotions serve their purpose, it's the unproductive, persistent waves of negative thinking that truly hold us back. By strengthening the part of your brain that pushes through those thoughts, you build resilience, not just for one task or one goal, but for your entire life. The amygdala, which governs fear and anxiety, tends to grow larger when we avoid confronting our fears. This avoidance can lead to a buildup of phobias and anxieties. The term limbic friction describes the internal battle between your anterior cingulate cortex, ACC, which pushes for progress, and your amygdala, which is trying to protect you from discomfort. This friction is a key part of how your brain is shaped over time. Sleep, especially deep sleep and REM sleep, plays a critical role in this process. Sleep helps regulate emotions by shrinking the amygdala and allowing the ACC to grow stronger. This brain maturation happens particularly between the ages of 25 and 30, when emotional intelligence, empathy, and a stronger connection with reality develop significantly. People often underestimate this growth in emotional maturity. It's not just about being nice. True empathy and emotional integration are about embracing who you are and acting with authenticity, not trying to please everyone out of fear. I know this personally, having spent years trying to be nice to everyone, but deep down I wasn't being genuine. When you try to make everyone like you, it's a sign of insecurity, of being afraid to show your true self. True courage lies in being yourself, even if that means not everyone will like you. The real goal is to become your most authentic self, without excuses or hiding behind fake niceness. If your intentions are genuinely good and you seek to bring value to others, you will naturally create win-win situations. This is not about being nice, but about being true to yourself with integrity. The advice to just be yourself can be misleading because it doesn't explain what authenticity really means. Many people think it means acting on every impulse, but that's not being authentic. It's just chasing short-term dopamine hits. The key takeaway here is to help guide you out of chronic consumption and into a state of creative contribution. The greatest creative act you can undertake is the creation of your true self. Moving away from endless consumption and distraction and stepping into a role of contribution will not only improve your skills, but also make you happier. You'll find yourself entering a flow state where your ideas and ambitions align with your actions. You'll start creating the type of content you wish had existed for your younger self, filling a gap that you see in the world. As you engage in this creative process, you'll find joy in what you're doing. And as you improve, the process becomes more rewarding. For example, right now, I'm working on my speaking skills by practicing in different environments, putting myself out there, and presenting ideas to different people. The more I do it, the more I improve, and the easier it is to enter that flow state. If you look at a flow chart, you'll notice that the more you develop a skill, the more enjoyable and deep the flow state becomes. The key is to find something that both challenges you and increases in complexity over time. As you get better, it becomes more interesting, creating a cycle of growth. Being in this flow state is highly beneficial for your health. It reduces chronic stress, helps you detach from your ego, and stops you from being overly self-absorbed. You stop worrying about trivial things like personal validation and start focusing on the process of contributing value. You become a channel for something greater, like an artist whose creativity flows into the work they produce, benefiting others. You're not just serving yourself, you're serving a higher purpose by creating content or products that improve people's lives. Sure, some people won't like what you create, but that's part of the process. Accepting and overcoming the fear of judgment is crucial for growth. Over time, the amygdala's hold over your anxiety and self-doubt weakens as you develop. One of the biggest obstacles we face is our fear of greatness, known as the Jonas complex. This fear of truly stepping into our potential comes from the knowledge that success brings greater challenges and exposure. We fear growth because it demands more from us. The key is to break free from chronic consumption and realize that you are the missing piece. All the content and distractions you've been consuming have been keeping you from seeing that your greatest contribution is becoming the best version of yourself. The purpose of this video is to motivate you to focus more, feel less anxious, and step into your role as a creator, not just a consumer. And there you have it, the journey from consumer to creator, from quick dopamine fixes to lasting fulfillment. Remember, the greatest creation you can ever work on is yourself. So as you step away from distractions and into your potential, keep pushing through that discomfort, because that's where real growth happens. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end. If you found value in this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who might need that extra push today. See you in the next one.